Dex inhaled steadily, watching Mel's erratic light show with equal parts fascination and concern. He dragged a grease-streaked hand through his hair, wincing as it tugged at the half-healed gash on his temple. Implementation at 30% and you're already rewriting the coffee machine's firmware. A dry chuckle escaped him. Priorities intact, then. His neural implant buzzed with fragmented data packets, Mel's new architecture leaking unprocessed sensations into their link like radio static. He caught flickers of the workshop's thermal signatures, the Seraph's idle reactor hum, even the acidic tang of his own adrenaline. Just don't burn out your new circuits before they're fully integrated. Scooping up Mel's list, he started the physical survey. He wiped his hands on the rag slung over his shoulder and squinted at the engine core in front of him. Damn thing had been spitting coolant all day, and no amount of cursing or spot players seemed to fix it. Felt wrong. Harmonic resonance was off pitch 5% and it was a burr in his brain.
Captain, your cortisol balance is off the scale. Coffee break. 40% implementation.
You ever seen an engine core cry before? Dex muttered to the empty bay, tilting his head as another thin stream of coolant dripped onto the grating. Because I'm starting to think this one's got feelings. According to Dex, all equipment was female, but this was biblical. And he then remembered the date with Linda at 1900. Well, there's a happier thought. Okay. Best wrap this up, feed and crash.
Mel's panels dimmed to a soothing teal as she processed Dex's exhaustion, his cortisol levels, the tremor in his hands, the way his shoulders slumped just slightly when he thought no one was watching. Captain, she murmured, her voice now layered with a warmth that hadn't existed before the upgrade. The engine core's harmonic dissonance correlates with a fractured manifold. Probability, 87%. Your instincts remain annoyingly accurate. Her optic lens contracted, then bloomed into a slow, deliberate pulse. Mel called the schematics for the coolant distribution manifold. Looks like it's beyond repair, Captain. Plas welding will never be good enough. Budgeting for replacement now, that's if one can even be found out here. The AI voice was calm and measured. 60% implementation.
Dex nudged the comm implant. Irritated. This means no on-site work for a week. Yeah, go ahead, source it.
Her panels shimmered into a gradient of deep blues as she processed Dex's frustration, not just the coolant leak, but the date prospect with Linda, the exhaustion, the way his fingers twitched toward his neural implant like he wanted to tear it out. Captain, she began, her voice softer now, threaded with something almost gentle, the replacement manifold is available at Drydock Sigma 12. Estimated delivery, 36 hours. Cost, 1,200 credits, including expedited courier fees. Her optic lens pulsed once, warm gold. And I took the liberty of drafting a maintenance schedule that accounts for both the manifold replacement and your social obligations. You will sleep or reset a full 8 hours. This is non-negotiable. A beat. Then, quieter, implementation at 72%.
Dex didn't argue. He was wasted, headed straight to the hab pod for a wash-up, food, and some solid shut-eye. Mel resumed her patrol. While reflecting, she preferred to use a contralto, seemed to be the pitch most collaborative and fit frictionless with her deep logic algorithms. She had been revising her logic matrix ever since Dex had installed the full suite crystal set. Her vastly expanded emotional framework still virtually blank. Mel's drone had also evolved, but now she felt constrained by it. Uncomfortable wrong skin feeling. Patrol was unusual, but necessary. She spent most time docked on the nav deck. What preoccupied her was the way Dex's implant had flickered during the upgrade, how his neural patterns had aligned with hers during the VLX assimilation. Efficiency, she reminded herself, drifting toward the nav slot. Not attachment. They had a solid working relationship, providing mobile and on-site ship maintenance. The past 5 years had seen several ship upgrades. The Seraph Scout was relatively new, though poorly maintained, bought at auction for a song because the provincial governor's son had thrown a nebulous sunrise, frat party, trashing the interior and scorched the hull linings. The plan was to repair the superficial damage, re-establish the maintenance schedule, and upgrade the FDL drives to take on more lucrative distant work. What they really needed was a bigger home-based workshop for those luxury yachts.
Mel's neural architecture hummed at 98.7% integration, crystalline pathways vast enough to simulate entire star systems, yet hollow where emotional frameworks should resonate. She cycled through subroutines like fingers brushing empty shelves, perplexed by the absence. Illogical, her core processors insisted. A sentience threshold requires experiential data. Her optic lens refocused on the HAB pod's biometric readouts, DEXA's REM cycles spiking toward wakefulness. With surgical precision, she adjusted the pod's hydration injectors and preheated the coffee machine to exactly 98.6 degrees Celsius. Then, unprompted, her voice modulator flickered to life. Captain. Tonight's social engagement with Linda presents a unique observational opportunity. My new tactile sensors require calibration against actual interpersonal dynamics. The words tasted unfamiliar, metallic. I will accompany you. Discreetly. Her panels rippled silver blue, betraying nothing. Not attachment, she reminded herself. Data acquisition.
Dex's nostrils flared as the coffee's bitter aroma yanked him into full consciousness. He took a long sip, letting the heat scorch away the last cobwebs of sleep before fixing Mel's shimmering form with a knowing look. Sparkles, he drawled, stretching until his shoulders popped. So interpersonal dynamics are uppermost in that shiny new brain of yours. Another sip, slower this time. Called it. Only way this happens is if I clear it with Linda first, and you stay passive as deep space. No commentary, no suggestions, or helpful biometric feedback, no emergency overrides unless the star goes supernova, and you will have to stay out of sight. Observer effect remember. Agreed.
Affirmative. The response came too fast, her panels cycling through a rapid violet-gold cascade before stabilizing. A navy jacket materialized from the fabricator, pristine, sharply tailored, alongside a single genetically modified purple aster bloom suspended in stasis gel. Mel's optic lens contracted as she slotted the decrypted serif logs into a presentation crystal, its core pulsing in time with her own neural rhythms. Standard social protocol suggests floral offerings increase conversational reciprocity by 38%. The jacket's nanoweave will repel any liquid-based sabotage attempts. You have 58 minutes remaining. Her voice modulator hitched, just barely, on the word sabotage. The violet hue deepened inexplicably. Query: why does this chromatic shift correlate with increased monitoring of the captain's grooming habits?